On one hand, the turmoil within the Fed continues, and on the other hand, the data keeps coming in, suggesting that interest rates should not be lowered. Even though Miran, appointed by Trump, is calling for bigger rate cuts, former Fed presidents like Bostic, Muslim, and Gosby are saying, no, let's hit the brakes a bit. As of May 2026, it is highly likely that significant interest rate cuts will take place. It is Miran, appointed by Trump, who is signaling this to us. America's gold reserves have now exceeded $1 trillion. We will also talk about the numbers. We will discuss where these numbers are headed as well. Welcome, everyone. One of the clearest indicators that gold's upward trend will continue is the ongoing purchases. Central bank ETF purchases, fund purchases, country purchases, corporate purchases, individual purchases, and so on and so forth. And then there are the geopolitical risks. Of course, we also need to talk about the Trump risks. At this point, there's no need to be surprised by gold's rise anymore. You might be surprised by those who are surprised, but don't be surprised by gold's increase, friends. It still has a long way to go. It's heading steadily towards $5,000. We could even be talking about $6,000, $6,500 levels. So no one should be surprised. I'm warning you in advance, friends. In America, gold reserves have now exceeded $1 trillion. Of course, the rise in the ounce price of gold also plays a role here. As you already know, just like with everything else, the world's largest gold reserves are in America. Let this also be a response to those who say America will sell gold or is giving up its gold reserves. No, America is also continuing to accumulate gold, just like other countries. Just like China, like Russia, even like Turkey, America is also continuing to accumulate gold. What will the Fed do in the next phase? When conservatives look at the data, they see that inflation is once again on the rise, and I agree with them. Again, when they look at the data, they see that employment is not deteriorating that much, and America's growth is not declining that much either. This again is presented as a reason not to cut interest rates. But the new governor appointed by Trump, Miran, says no, we should implement even bigger interest rate cuts. What he probably means by bigger is this. At every meeting, we should make interest rate cuts of 100, 150 basis points. As far as I can see, interest rate cuts of 25 basis points are not enough for either Trump or Miran. He advocates for more aggressive interest rate cuts. So, with the current structure of the Fed, while Powell, Muslim, Bostic, Goldsby, and similar chairs and members are in place, is it possible for the Fed to make such aggressive interest rate cuts? Of course, it's not possible, friends. Therefore, if there is going to be an interest rate cut in October and December, I don't think anyone should expect more than consecutive 25 basis point cuts. Will 25 basis point rate cuts satisfy Trump and his team? No, they won't. If you ask what will happen when the situation changes as of May, that is when the structure of the Fed changes, that's when aggressive rate cuts will begin. This is actually one of the main reasons why gold has been making sharp moves lately. It's not just the purchases by central banks and ETFs. With the expected change in the Fed's structure in the coming period and its independence being questioned even more, aggressive rate cuts are anticipated, and as a result, the expectation is that the upward trend in gold prices will accelerate. Meanwhile, geopolitical risks continue to rise. The Trump-Putin conflict is escalating even further. All of these factors together are constantly pushing gold prices upward. There are minor corrections in between. One step back, then two steps forward. One step back, then three steps forward. After gold prices broke through $3,500, they started to move much more sharply. Geopolitical risks are not limited to just the US and Russia. China continues to grow at full speed despite all the tariffs. Its industry has grown by 20%. This shows us the following. Despite all the obstacles, China will continue to be America's biggest rival in the coming period. What else? As you know, South Korea is one of the countries known to be close to the United States. Even that country has started to rebel and resist because Trump told South Korea, if you don't want me to impose tariffs on you or create extra problems, then you will invest $350 billion in America, my friend. $350 billion. In response, South Korea said, wait a second, we can't make a $350 billion investment. They announced that they are making their investments in South Korea. They rejected Trump. So what will this rejection lead to? Most likely Trump will start imposing even harsher tariffs on South Korea. These harsh tariffs imposed on South Korea will also push them towards Asia, steering them towards Russia, China, and maybe even North Korea, friends. This will gradually bring about their slow alignment in that direction. As you can see, there is once again a major polarization in the world between Asia and the West. In fact, we can even include part of Europe in that Asia bloc, friends, because they too are extremely disturbed by Trump's policies. In short, this shows us that tensions will rise and that in the coming period, tensions will increase even more. And of course, precious metals like gold and silver will also rise. I'm getting questions about what will happen to palladium. Since palladium is also a precious metal, it will rise as well. Friends, let me mention that too. I've come to the end of this video. We'll be together again in the next video. Until we meet again, goodbye, stay happy, and take care of yourselves. Don't forget to comment, like, share, and most importantly, subscribe, friends. All of these are free, but they mean a lot to us. You can also support our channel by clicking the join button or with super stickers. Goodbye, stay happy, take care of yourselves. Bye-bye.